Our next guest is a reluctant resident in the United States. Don't get me wrong, Edafe Okporo is thankful the U.S. has given him asylum, but he would rather be back home in his native Nigeria, surrounded by the language and family and culture of his upbringing. But the current social and political climate there makes it unsafe for him to stay. Edafe joins us today to talk about the dangers of being openly gay in modern West Africa. Edafe, welcome to Feel Like You Belong.
Thank you very much, Alan. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a joy to see you again. We've been in touch for a while. I know you're doing lots of good work, but I'd like our viewers to be a little bit familiar with the difficulties right now of being gay in Nigeria.
That is a pretty tough question to answer, but I will give insights based on the knowledge I have and personal experiences. In 2014, the government of Nigeria passed a law that criminalizes same-sex relationship by 14 years imprisonment, and amorphous show of public affection or organizations and activists who provide a safe haven for gay men will be persecuted 10 years imprisonment. This law has not actually persecuted any gay man, but this law has given power to non-state actors to act on behalf of the government. I remember I suffered 2 violent mob attacks, people pretending to be gay men on dating app. They lure you into their heaven and they attacked me. They beat me up, took my money, held me on hostage. And that story is not just a single story. So many gay men in Nigeria suffer the same blackmail and extortion every single day. Then we come to healthcare. There's lack of access to healthcare for gay men because they are being discriminated by the healthcare providers.
So, in a sense, this criminalizing of homosexuality in Nigeria has really given rise to a lot of vigilantism.
So there's what they call jungle justice. Jungle justice is practiced in Nigeria and Cameroon, whereby members of the community take law into their own hand. They put people on fire, they lock people in a drum trying to drown them. This is like beyond what we call like vigilante. This is civil disobedience, abusing the rights of other people that cannot protect themselves because the law says 14 years imprisonment. I remember I used to work for the first human rights organization in Nigeria, and we were raided by community members. When we went to the police station, they asked us, what do they do against you? And what were you doing that this punishment was given against you? We could not say we're providing services for gay men because that would lead to 14 years imprisonment.
Wow. Wow. And there are still people trying to practice in Nigeria this gay conversion therapy.
Yeah, so when I was younger, personally, I was taken to the church to try to pray the gay away. It's a tradition practiced by most Christian-dominated religion and Islam, which try to prefer a solution that people are not born gay, that people choose to be gay, but if they are put in an environment isolated from family and friends, that it could actually be corrected. If being gay is something I could have changed, I wouldn't choose to live this life whereby I suffer rejection from everybody. I would choose a life whereby I will be loved by almost everybody. But being gay is a choice, and I choose to live a life that is not a lie.
Sure. So when did you...
Therapy kind of push you away from who you are and try to tell you you can be somebody else, which is not true.
To push you really into inauthenticity.
Yeah, conversion therapy increases the suicide rate among young LGBTQ people because it causes depression, isolation, and anxiety. And a lot of people contemplate finding other solutions to ending the pain.
Sure. So what year did you come to the United States?
I came the year the problem came into America. I arrived in America October 2016. October 28, 2016, this same month, 3 years ago, just a few days before the presidential election of Donald Trump. And there was this tension about what would be the climate for immigrants in America. So I actually came in before Trump was elected president.
But you had the strange welcome of landing in JFK and going to jail.
So in America, all arriving aliens will arrive at the border. 14 days of arriving within 10 miles of the border, you will be mandatorily detained as an arriving alien. To prove that you have a credible fear of persecution, this is a federal law in America. I didn't know about Immigration Detention Center before I came to America. If I knew that there was going to keep me in a jail, technically, I wouldn't have asked for asylum at the border. But they say that only illegal immigrants are kept in a detention center. I came here legally. I came with a 2 years visa, and I was still sent to a detention center. A detention center is a place where you are temporarily kept to verify that you warrant a status before you are released into the community. But the detention center is much more than that. Detention center is used to punish and deter migrants to return back to their countries which they came from. I remember I couldn't eat a pizza that cost less than $1 a day. And I used to work in the detention center for $1 a day. $1 a day. We're just like total slaves to the system because we are not yet US citizens. We don't have entitlement to have a lawyer or legal representation. So you are just kept in this place, punished for you to say, I'm tired and I'm going back to my country.
And we used to consider this country a place that welcomed refugees, that welcomed people in difficult situations. And it seems like the system is increasingly more alienating, increasingly less friendly, so that the ultimate effect is to deter immigration by asylum seekers.
So I wouldn't say that though, because Americans that I have met are very good people. Institutionalized racism built into the system is what is the main problem we need to tackle. The system is not the people. The people I have met in America are very good people. But the current administration is creating these fear-mongering tactics to deter people from being able to rely on what this country has been to thousands and hundreds and millions of people, which is a place for everybody, the melting pot, where everybody from every background can come in and fit in. But this current administration has passed laws that make it difficult for people to come to this country to seek asylum. I, as an LGBTQ person, if I haven't come to America before the Trump administration, with the recent transgender ban and calling Asians and Nigerians from shithole countries, I would have been afraid to come to America, cutting DACA, temporary protected status, and trying to make it look as if people are not welcome to this country. The people that are trying to create these narratives for are Black and brown people. So it's a system that is built into racial inequality to deter immigrants who come from countries like Africa, Central America, not to come and seek protection. But they wouldn't do that to a white immigrant from Sweden.
No. And because of this detention, when you first arrived, you wrote a book from this.
Yes. So when I came to America, I wasn't called by my name. I was called an arriving alien. From an arriving alien, they started calling me Bird 26. So this is like an American system whereby when people come to this country, your name is being eroded away and you're just given a bed number. And I wanted to make people understand that I am much more than a bed number. So writing Bed 26, a memoir of an African mass asylum in the United States, was to document my experience as an asylum seeker who was given a bed number and to make people understand that immigrants who flee persecution and come to this country are much more than just numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's nothing more dehumanizing than removing our identity, removing our name. And in fact, in Yoruba, your name has a special meaning.
Yeah. So Edafe means a wealthy man, and in plural, it means a wealthy people. In particular, every human on this earth build a name as a legacy. When they leave, that name is the only thing that they find as a strength to remember those people. That is why you see like the Rockefeller Foundation, the Bill Gates Foundation, people are trying to build a name for themselves. So when you lose your name, you lose the identity of who you are. And that is what the immigration system tried to do to so many of us. So when I came, bed 26 was like the bed that was close to the toilet in the detention center. When people are flushing the toilet at night, I'm awake. So I wanted to create an avenue for other immigrants. People read my book in the detention center and they tell me that I heard your story and I believe that if you could go through this, I too can also go through this. And secondly, when I was growing up as a young gay man, I never saw stories about people like myself. I never saw anything to show that a gay man from West Africa exists out there. So writing Bed 26 was to give other young gay people who are scorning the internet, trying to look for somebody like them to know that their story exists too, and they can control the narrative of who they are.
Because if we see other people out in the world that we can identify with, it helps validate ourselves and our own experience and our own lives.
There's danger to a single story. When you portray a people as one thing and as one thing only, people begin to see those people as that thing. A lot of Americans who have never traveled outside America do not know that Nigerians can be happy or Africans can be happy. They think that all they see on the internet are children with ribs or people who are with underwear. And that is a story that is wrong, because in every story, there's a two sides to the story. The victor gets to tell the story, but the victim can also tell their story. And I've been a minority for a very long time. Being a gay man from Nigeria, I've always been a victim. So this is the first time in my life that I have the opportunity and the platform to be able to be a victor. So I want to give that story to other people too, to feel like they belong, to feel like they're heard and they're visible. And that is why I wrote that name.
Sure. And in addition to your helping people with your book, which can be disseminated widely, you're actually doing a lot of local visits to schools and talking to GSAs. Can you talk about GSAs and your particular work with them?
Yeah, so today is National Coming Out Day. And coming out is a big deal for so many gay people, because when you are young, you are undecisive and you don't know what is right or what is wrong. A lot of young people, they tell me that my parents said I should not listen to people who are gay because they don't want me to turn gay. And I tell them that I grew up in a society where I see men and women getting married. How come I still love a man? Why don't I follow the story I have seen? It's because who I am cannot be influenced by external things. Sometimes they can be, but within a long period of time, you will get to know who you are. So I've been able to identify who I am. I sacrificed my country. I sacrificed my education, my livelihood, family, and everything I know to come to America, to be able to live freely as a gay man. And when I came to America, I saw that younger gay people are still oppressed. They're still going through conversion therapy and other kind of harsh treatment, which is unfair for America as a country to still have such kind of things. So me, I'm using my life to talk to younger people to know that your struggles are the same struggles other people are facing everywhere. But you could choose to remain who you are despite all the challenges that you might see. Look at my life. I struggled a lot, but as time goes on, people get to accept me. I cannot change myself for them. They have to change themselves for me. That is how you remain genuine. And speaking to younger people gives me that opportunity to remember all it took me to get to this point. That if I had taught somebody that could have reassured me that this is who you are, just continue on this path, I wouldn't have some fights on headache like trying to kill myself.
Sure. We have time for one more question. I want to ask you about recently you took on a new position. Talk about Refugee Support Service.
So over 2 years now, I've been working as the director of RTG Refugee Shelter. Robert Daniel Jones Refugee Shelter is the only shelter in New York City that provides housing for asylum seekers and refugees. I am drawn to service. When I came to America, I was detained. When I was released from a detention center, I didn't have a place to stay. So I want to eliminate the orders for other people who are granted protection in America. So working in a detention, in a shelter, gives me the opportunity to give somebody a chance to rebuild their life in a new country.
That's fantastic. Let's take it out with this final thought. What would you like non-immigrant Americans to know about you specifically and about immigrants and refugees in general?
So there's one thing that is common is that when you don't know yourself, you compare yourself with the things that are closer to you. What you hear, what you see, what you smell, and what you taste affects who you become. And politics is an emotional game. It's not what you know, it's how you feel about it. I am sorry that there have been some bad eggs among us, but in general, all immigrants, if you total the average, are good people. They are fleeing to this country to contribute to the betterment of America. And there have been a current argument that immigrants disrespect the American flag. If we do disrespect the American flag, why do we flee to America? It's because we believe in the sovereignty of a country that will protect the inherent right and dignity of every human being. So before you judge, listen to the stories of immigrants. And the average immigrant is just here to look for a better life. So instead of you to shun and chastise us, embrace us and listen to our story, you might be saving your ancestors by doing so.
That's really wonderful. I want to thank you so much for making time to talk with us today. Wish you continued success in your work in educating others and supporting the newcomers who have a hard time, but because of your experience, their new lives might be just a little bit easier.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to educate people. Change is very difficult, but education is the most useful tool in advocating for change.
Awesome. Thanks, Edafe. Take care.
A pleasure.
And thank you for joining us. If you're watching us on TV, stay tuned for our following segments on language and culture. If you're watching Feel Like You Belong on the internet, we hope you will share your feedback with us via our website and YouTube channel. And be sure to catch our many other stories about the resilient newcomers who contribute their vision and hard work that make these United States a more just place.